Yeah. Wait, should we record this? Because I saw this on my feed and I was going to leave a comment and I saw your comment on it. And then I
Yeah.
didn't even end up leaving my comment.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay.
When you start your business, no one ever prepares you for what's in store. So finding someone else who just gets it is sometimes the thing that can keep you pushing towards those big vision board business goals.
We're turning our Zoom coffee chats into a weekly unfiltered podcast. You always wanted to record them and repurpose them for content anyways. And that's on being a social media manager.
I'm Jessica Sheehy.
And I'm Madeline Daigan. And this is
hashtag
managed. I think it's perfect.
I like it. I like it.
Libby, welcome to hashtag managed podcast. Today is a special episode because we are interviewing my older sister, who I obviously know her life story as well as her career life story, which is why we have asked her to be on the podcast. Libby, can you share a little more about you and your journey to becoming a VP of marketing for our audience?
Sure. I guess I'll just start with college years. Because anyways. I went to the University of Dayton and I chose to go there because I could go in undecided and I did not know what I wanted to do with life at 18. So it was far enough away, but still close enough to home. Go visit my little sister if I needed to. And then I ended up choosing to major in communications, public relations, and minored in business. Like I said, I did not know what I wanted to do at 18. I was in a very rebellious stage. I was very much into, at UD, they have porches, the UD ghetto. All the houses, it's party atmosphere. In high school, I didn't have to study. Found out in college I did. So I actually ended up flunking out my freshman year. So that was my rock bottom. First time that someone other than my parents told me no. My parents told me to figure it out. So I had to reapply. I lost my scholarship. That sucked. But I still finished in 4 years because that was the rule. My parents would pay for 4 years. After that, you're on your own. So did that. I graduated and I went to a small family woman-owned company. It was e-commerce, sold office supplies, but it's B2B. So think of your Staples or your Office Max. All businesses buy their paper through some kind of online portal. I went and I did that, but I started there as a social media manager as well as inside sales. Hated the sales. I was cold calling. It sucked. No one all day long. I would rather just get to voicemail, especially for someone as introverted as myself. Like I would get home and I'd be like, that sucked. And I would tell my now husband at the time, don't ever hang up on someone who's calling because it's mean and it's miserable. So then I switched to outside sales, which was slightly better because I was young. They were nice. They didn't want to be mean to me. It's easier to be mean to someone on the phone. I'm very competitive. Sales was honestly not something I wanted to do. I'm sure my sisters mentioned, my mom, maybe. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I'm not listening to all the podcasts. But yeah, so while I'm competitive and I'm good at it, not to ring my own or toot my own horn, whatever you want to say, I prefer the marketing side of things. So I actually ended up at my current company. Funny story. I'm at Staco Energy right now, and I went and they were getting a new building and they needed furniture. And I'm like, yes, cha-ching. I get a big commission check on furniture as opposed to paper. And then flash forward, and I got let go of the company, and they had interviewed my replacement while I was still there, which was, I don't think that is good business, but whatever. And on my way out, I didn't want to burn any bridges, and I let the owner know. I'm like, hey, this account is going to be really good. They need furniture. You still like I gave her more than I should have. Anyways, flash forward, and a recruiter called me for this company, and I'm like, well, that's weird. So ended up working at Staco. I came on board as a sales analyst, communications manager, but it was marketing. It was not it was not sales. So I was relieved to not be in sales anymore. And then I moved on to become the marketing manager, and then the marketing director, and then the senior director. But when I became the senior director, I was also tasked with, we have a sister company, Minuteman, and I took on the dual role of managing both companies. So technically right now I am at two companies. So I find it somewhat challenging to switch between companies. I oftentimes get on calls, especially when my mornings are chaotic at home, and I'm like, oh wait, which hat am I wearing right now? Because the businesses are similar, but they're still different. I have two different teams. One's in Dallas, one's here, and I'm in Ohio. So that, in a nutshell, is my path to VP.
Perfect. You nailed it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you going into detail on all of those things, Libby, because I feel like so many people can find themselves in your story, especially, mentioning flunking out freshman year. So many people would look at that and think that's, people look at rock bottom and they're like, this is where I'll stay, right? They're like, they can't see that they can climb out of that. And they can. You're working for two companies side by side, which I can't even imagine that, plus being a mom. But before we dive into like the nitty gritty questions that we have for you, because we have several, we want to do like a quick rapid fire, get to know you. Our audience loves this. And I'm just going to start firing away these questions. So first question, what is your favorite thing about being a marketer?
No day's the same. I can be a spreadsheet geek one day, and I can do social media the next day. Dive into like I just had a meeting on swag. No day's the same. I love that. It helps my ADD brain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Celebrity you'd love to meet?
So honestly, I thought about this because I got the questions early, but I'm too introverted or shy to actually like. I don't think there is a celebrity I'd want to meet, because I'd probably hide.
What about Avery Woods though?
Again, I'd probably hide. Like if we saw her at a restaurant, I'd be like, "Hey, Maddie, go."
True. That is true.
Audrey, go. And then I'd duck under the table and be like, "Oh my gosh, so embarrassing," because that's just who I am.
I love that. Maddie would like already have like everything about.
She already
knows Avery's life story, but yes, she would. They would already have like another like lunch date, coffee date, like workout session, like already planned, which is so funny. Okay, what is one thing you can't live without?
My family, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't live with them, but you can't live without them. So, I mean,
I love that. I'm obviously, you guys listening have already known from Maddie's intro that Maddie and Libby are sisters, but I'm here for this dynamic. I'm here for the third wheel, and I'm an older sister. There's 9 years between my sister and I. She's unfortunately going to school for nursing, so we won't be having her on the podcast. So,
wait, though, don't completely knock her out, because Avery Woods, as she just mentioned, like we're best friends and everything. She started her career in nursing, and so maybe your sister can like have a really active social media nursing account.
Okay, true. The nursing to content creator pipeline, I'm here for it. She probably would do way more brand deals than I would do, because I can't post on my personal enough. Anyway, I like to be behind the scenes as a marketer, but okay. In an alternate universe, what would your job be?
Brand influencer.
Hmm. I like that.
Do I need a lot?
And
Like, I love all the free things. But
yeah.
again, that would require me to be extra extroverted.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. In an alternate universe, maybe you're
Maybe I'm
maybe
an
you're,
extrovert.
yeah. Yeah. I like to think the same for me too, but okay, what is your favorite brand?
Okay, so this one for me.
Pick one.
That
Pick
is,
one.
I can't. I can't. Clothes, aloe. And I will tell you, they need to launch a kids line. Skincare, Glymed Plus. I think that's how you say it. I'm not entirely
Mhm.
sure.
She
Makeup.
just got into skincare, Jess. So
Yes.
like I'm proud of this. This
I
is a
was a
proud
facial,
moment.
like, yeah, okay. Anyways, makeup, Merit. Shout out to the little sister for introducing it.
Thank you.
Tarte, ready for a brand trip for sure because they have the best ones. Jewelry, Van Cleef. I'm tired of wearing my fake, but I won't splurge. Swimwear. I'm searching for a new brand because I have not found any that I like. Lifestyle, One Hotel, and I think that's been mentioned on a previous podcast.
It has.
Um,
Yeah.
But kids, that's for me. Kids, I do think this is important because this was an
Yes.
open-ended rapid fire question, but I'm sorry.
This
No,
is
go
good for
for it.
Jessica
Go for it.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
Jessica's here for
I'm now
this one.
taking notes in the kids department.
Okay,
So
I definitely, and I've like highlighted, I'll send you my notes later. Yeah, because I added more links later because the time to you guys gave me to digest my answers was too much. So clothes, Posh Peanut, you definitely need those for new baby because the nails, like they scratch themselves, and I love how they have like little hand things that you can put over them. And then their zipper. You do not want buttons. They can have cute clothes, but I'm sorry, in the middle of the night, no, you just need zippers. Skincare. I'm trying to teach my girls it's just as important as brushing your teeth since I got into it so late in life. Ever Eden is my newest obsession for the girls because they have sunscreen. They have those cute little headband things that you put on, and they have a whole pack. Like, and they have like a foaming face wash. Anyways, I got it for the girls, a foaming face wash, and then like a lotion. And Audrey got so burnt on our recent vacation. So this morning she's like lotioning up. I'm like, that might be a little too much, honey. But you do you. Toys and development, Love Every, a must for like it's a subscript. Have you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a must. But
Yep.
you just had your baby shower too, I think. I hope somebody got you some of it.
Yes, I do. I recently like went on and added like anything and everything Love Every, like from toys to the subscription to the registry. So yes, I know some things have already been purchased. So I'm like, yes, thank you. You know, obviously there's like some essentials on there too, but I'm like, no, I'm here for the Love Every. So
That and the outlet.
Jessica, I laugh.
You have
Jessica,
it. I'm telling you.
It's on her registry. It's on her registry.
That's usually my
But
go-to
you
to get
okay.
everyone because as a new mom, like I was deathly afraid of my kid. Like you carry a kid for 9 months. Like the last thing you want is for them to, you know, forbid anything happen
Yeah.
in the middle of the night. So
I have
it's
to
hard.
say, for some reason, the outlet is the most, I don't want to say the most, there's a lot of controversial things becoming a new parent, but the outlet is one of the most controversial things that people are so passionate one way or another. And I'm like, you know, the pros and the good outweigh the bad and the cons for me. Like it's it's a non-negotiable. And I already told my husband, I'm like, if we don't get it, we're going to purchase it with that discount code that our registrar's going to give us because I want the peace of mind.
Yes, it was the only way I could sleep at night because I had postpartum anxiety, not necessarily the depression, which I feel like anxiety is less talked about. But I'm telling you, I wouldn't have slept. Like when like the first time we went on vacation, mom and dad forgot to put the outlet on Audrey, and I'm like, I turn over to Alex. I'm like, you need to call them now. Like they need to put that on her. I won't sleep. Anyways, they extended it to be like you can My kid is 7, and when
Yeah, I'm
she's
like,
going
this
through
is
her asthma stuff, I know you're embarrassed by this, but I'm telling you, after your kid's in a hospital for a while, she can't croak. I have first. All right, moving on. Sorry, that was too much for the brand. Rapid fire.
Perfect. That was all super helpful though. Awesome.
okay. So first question, what have you learned about building and leading high performing teams?
Thank you for saying that they're high performing. They are. I have honestly, one of the biggest things I've learned recently is that managing people is tough, but especially remotely. It's not impossible, but it is much tougher than being like in the office with someone. Trust is earned, it's not given. I used to just give all of my trust and then it's been broken. And I have had to revert back to you've got to earn it. And I'm very open in communicating that with my team, like right away. This is a big one. Work ethic, it beats experience 9 times out of 10. I can teach anyone who's willing to be taught, who show up. Like that's just not can't teach someone to show up and to show up on time. That's not something that's just ingrained in you. Especially growing up with a mom who goes by the, if you're, what is the saying? If you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. If you're late, don't bother showing up. So like that's where I come from. And then it's been challenging. People who don't operate that way, I don't understand. But I think you improve with every generation. I hated being to like swim events or any event like 30 minutes early. Like we were the first, that's annoying to me because then anyways, 5 minutes ahead of time's all right.
I'm still 30 minutes early. I can't break it.
Getting the right people in the right seats is important. Sometimes you can have someone who's great, but you put them in the wrong position. Weekly one-on-ones, they matter. I used to have my whole team for a week, but I need to connect with each individual person.
Yeah, those are so good. I feel like so many great bullet points as well because we have a lot of people listening who are starting their own marketing agencies or they have them. And honestly, that's one thing, you're not really taught in school how to start your own business, but unless you're taking it, if you're majoring in management, or if I can remember even some of my favorite classes, the ones I remember the most from college are my management courses. I think that's more so because I had really awesome professors, not so much the curriculum, but now it definitely has helped. So I love that you talked about several of those things. Now, obviously, we planned for all of the questions that we wanted to ask Libby before bringing her on. And Libby, you mentioned to us, navigating the boys club dynamic. So I wanted to bring that to light for our listeners. So you mentioned navigating the boys club dynamic in a demanding industry. How have you handled that? And what advice would you give to other women facing a similar challenge?
So it's real. I feel like when I entered like my career, I kind of thought, I didn't think it still existed, like a boys club, right? Because my mom was the breadwinner. And my dad worked too. They both work really hard, but it just wasn't something that I thought I would experience. I'm in an industry that is very male dominated. We sell a very technical product. Not that a woman couldn't do that. But I guess it's real and I've learned to navigate it carefully. I've learned that it's important not to assume things that happen are because I'm a woman. You have to show your value. There are some generational differences, and right now I'm playing in my mind this clip that I sent to Maddie. She might post it later, but what's his name? Do you know his name?
I forget. But it went through the generations and how talking about a woman like how a boomer versus Gen X
Mhm.
versus millennial and Gen Z, and how communicating. You'll
So
do
it's
better.
he
Yeah.
goes through it, and it's like, this is what a millennial might say, and the millennial says, "You look really tired today." So I've had that said like right after I had a baby, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I'm not wearing makeup today," and like things that just little things you hear, or a boomer might say in a meeting. Well, that's great. Let's have someone with more experience talk now. But there's probably, I would say 5 out of the 10 I've heard at a certain point in my career. And I guess so I've learned to laugh. Um, but the advice, find a female mentor, preferably, and then be one. Pay it forward. We got to make it better for the next generation of girls.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
Okay, so obviously I know you're an amazing mom and an amazing career woman. So how do you find balance or harmony between your personal and professional life?
So it's hard to admit, but there is no perfect balance. There's not. I think it's more important, I guess, to strive for harmony. Um, some days my work needs more of me, and other days my family needs more of me. Um, it's less about splitting the time evenly, um, and more about being fully present, um, in whatever role I am needs me more that day, that
I,
time.
I love that. I forget if I've ever shared this with you, but I feel like one of the best pieces of advice, obviously you give me a lot, but one of the
Even
best
when you don't
pieces,
want it.
yes, let's
I'm
emphasize that.
working on listening, and I
Yes,
ask now, I pause and I say, am I listening, or do you want my thoughts?
yes,
And then I
yes.
hope you want my thoughts.
I
Go
would
ahead,
say
sorry for
probably
interrupting.
8 out of 10. I want your thoughts. But anyways, I feel like one of the best pieces of advice I was given when I first started The Buzzing Blonde was by Tiffany, and she said, you know, and for those, I feel like I haven't brought up this mentor, but she was a mom of two and started an interior design company. But she's like, Maddie, there are going to be balls that get dropped every day, whether that's like with family, career, whatever. And I don't know, that just always has stuck with me, and I feel like you just perfectly said that as well. So thank you.
Yeah. I have to say too, Libby, I feel like this is like one of the most frequent questions that I feel like every time I listen to a podcast with like, some of our favorite brands, like, and again, not calling out these CEOs, but, we love Whitney of Bumble, but I think she's like, she's very real about it. But most people aren't. They're like, oh, I find perfect balance because I am perfect and I can make my mom life and
I
my
don't
work life.
follow them.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, no, okay, first of all, maybe you're PR trained way too well, but like that is not like, and no one wants to hear that answer. So I think your answer on like making it more of a harmony, like, and it just depends on where you need to be more present. Like that's way more realistic for someone, especially like I'm like excited, happy, nervous, scared, like entering into a very new era really soon. And I'm like, that's what I'm thinking of is how do I find that balance? Because right now I'm like, I'm losing the balance, but now I'm like, okay, harmony. I'm going to find harmony throughout it. So,
And it's not going to be 50. Like, I
mhm.
feel like entering motherhood, that was my biggest misconception. And once I figured out it was not going to be 50-50, some days it's going to be 70-30. And I think once my husband and I figured that out, like we were more there was more harmony in our marriage and raising our children. But I don't know if you remember this, Maddie, but like first time parents is hard, but like we had it like we can be spreadsheet organized, but like that you go to the hospital and they release you with a kid without a manual, but they do give you like a what color is the poop thing, like we're changing a diaper. And I'm like, Maddie, what color was it? And she's like, I don't know. Crayon green, Libby. I don't know. It was like Alex and I were like at each other.
Like she wanted a descriptive, and I'm
Yeah,
like
it was like a fill in the blank, and I'm like, what color? You don't need that. But then also, like, we thought sleep is important, and it's not gonna be. We slept in different rooms and took shifts, and that, looking back, that's probably not how I would have done it, but it's not gonna be 50-50. I mean, if
Yeah.
you think it that way,
Right.
kudos. Call me.
Yeah, then I might have to write a book and like I might have to a tell all for
I figured it
that.
out.
Yeah, right. Which I doubt that, but no, I think I love that. I think I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind for sure. I think this kind of goes along, hand in hand with finding that harmony or balance. But what's one routine, mindset, or habit that keeps you grounded both personally and professionally?
Well, I have an answer for all of them.
Perfect.
Okay, so routine wise, so important, and I've heard other people say it before, is waking up before your kids. It's so I can have, it's like the calm before the storm, but it's my time. That's just me, and it makes a huge difference. It sets the tone for the day. Now you're gonna go through some sleep regressions, and that sucks because I'm going through one right now. So, but it's nice to be able to prepare my kids their breakfast, their clothes, their just plan their day. I'm completely ready. It's less chaotic. Exercise. It's not necessarily, it's less about the fitness and more about creating mental space. My routine, I work from home on Mondays and Fridays, and I've got a walking treadmill. Well, I have a treadmill, but it's called a surf shelf. So I'll put my laptop on there. So I walk while I'm working Mondays and Fridays. And then on Wednesdays in the office, I will coerce my coworker to come walk with me, Haley. Shout out. And then on the weekends, I will try and get a run in. My husband will take the girls out, and then I'll run for 30 minutes and then get my quick shower in peace. And then, then the other days, it's a lot of just sitting, and it sucks, but I'm in a much better mood when I've moved my body. Habits, organization. Maddie and I are very different here. Like, her phone stresses me. I cannot. The bubbles. Oh my gosh, send me into my grave. I definitely operate with the inbox zero method. I file everything if I need my team to respond and I don't trust them yet, or like, not that I've got a great team right now, but I will move it into my task to follow up in a week if they haven't responded. I guess I should put this on like the dark side of sales. Like, when sales team doesn't respond to me and I need them to, I give them a week, even though I feel like it should be within 24 hours. Anyways, but that at least gets everything out of my inbox. Zero bubbles.
To be fair, my inbox is zero on my like on my computer, just not my phone. To be fair.
I can't. So communication also, I don't know if that's really a habit, but like at home and at work, I had mentioned the one-on-one meetings, but just check-in meetings, even with my husband, treating our schedules like a shared Google Calendar. When my kids were born, I got the Gmail accounts right away, cedar.audrey@gmail, cedar.kennedy. So anyways, it's all color coded. So by birthstone, Audrey's purple, Kennedy's green, I'm blue. But we also have the Echo Show on our refrigerator. So it shows everybody, but it's all in one place. And then I don't have to do the extra step of let's invite my husband to this event so he doesn't forget. Like, everything has to be organization, communication, key, habit.
I feel like you're speaking Jessica's and mine, but mostly Jessica and our relationship is also more type A. But so you're
Yeah.
definitely speaking her
I'm
love language.
inbox zero, color coordinated. Maddie's like, you want to go do this, do that. I'm like, yeah, send me a calendar invite. Now she just knows to send it. So yeah, okay, but now that I know I can weave this into motherhood, I'm like, I didn't even think about that because I'm just again, it's so unknown. But yeah, okay, that makes me excited.
And then mindset, giving myself grace. Some days are going to feel like wins, some days don't. But if I'm doing my best and I'm intentional about how I'm showing up for each role that I'm in, then that's enough. Yeah. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen up, social media managers, freelancers, and online business bosses. If you're still out here trying to Google your way to success, it's time for an upgrade. The Hashtag Manage Collective is a free Facebook group where we ditch the fluff and get real about what actually works in social media management. Community, coaching, and resources. Because your ideal clients don't just magically find you. We're a group of 20,000 plus social media managers, and it's absolutely free to join us. So what are you waiting on? Join now at hashtagmanage.com/group. Thanks so much for listening to this episode. If you made it this far, I think we've officially become internet besties. You can always call into the hashtag hotline and say hello, leave a review, or ask your burning questions.
Make sure you follow, rate, and review the podcast wherever you're listening from. Subscribe to the Social Club newsletter for our weekly email, and shoot us a DM over at hashtag manage on Instagram, letting us know what your biggest takeaway was from this episode.